begin to understand this is we need to count some marks, like a simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 9 indicate the cosmos. Volume, the cosmos, is the number of mathematics, numerology, at the same time is the number of the cosmos. So it's in the way how we begin to understand things. It's some marks is there, but we need to understand.
The symbolism is embedded, yes. Okay, well, thank you so much for bringing him out, and I guess everybody else is going to want to see him as well. So thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Okay, let me get started here. My name is Kendall Ray Morgan. I'm with Oracle Stone Productions. There's one person I'd like to introduce too, so everybody gets to at least know who she is. And if you can't get a hold of me, it's Mary Howard right here. She's been a great addition to us putting on this event this year. And so let me get started and go down the line here. We have Vicky Cunningham from Australia. We have Humboldt's man from the Yucatan. We have Yogi Van Deeten from Holland. Marjan is from Hungary. Jane Dougherty from New Jersey. Dr. Jaap Van Deeten, our Master of Ceremonies this weekend from Sedona. Sherry Whitfield from my hometown, Tucson, Arizona. We have Mr. Raymond Tarpey from Oregon. Carolyn Ford from Sedona. And Margaret, likes to be known as Peggy Sodry, who works for the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. Arthur Fanning. Arthur Fanning is the guardian of the Atlantean orb that you guys will get a chance to experience that hopefully this weekend. I'm not really quite sure who all and where you're all from, the media. But we thought what we would like to do is, because we've had an overwhelming response to people who want to come and film the event, there won't be any filming of the event inside the conference room. There'll be no photos, and there'll be no one else other than us that'll be filming the event. So this is your chance to get to meet some of the speakers and presenters and ask them some questions. We're very excited to be able to bring this to Los Angeles. We did an event last year in New York City, Manhattan, called the 10-10-10. And many of the people that you see here, we have a few additions, Raymond Tarpey this year, but and Yoki came in, she tried to make it last year, she didn't make it. This is a miracle that she's here today. You really are seeing a miracle here. This is a real miracle. And so she's here. And what I would like to do is, maybe from the media, who do we have, how many different media, who do we have here? Conscious
Media Network.
Conscious Media Network from San Francisco.
We're in the Sierra Foothills now.
Okay. Who else do we have media? Who else is here? Right there.
Green Wisdom Media Group out of Los Angeles and Arkansas.
Okay. Anybody else here?
Shift is happening TV.
Shift is happening TV. Yes, I know that. Yes.
Yes, I'm waiting for the producer. He's waiting to park the car a half hour.
Okay. Well, they'll get in here. We have in the back of the room, you'll see a group of people that made a journey from Manhattan, New York with Humboldt's man, and came across the United States for very special ceremonies in very special places. And so we'll get a chance to see them again tomorrow for the opening ceremonies, along with the Grand Council from the Yucatan is coming, the Mayan Itzuk Grand Council, which Humboldt's is a part of that Grand Council. And they're arriving this afternoon, so you might see some of them in the hotel this afternoon. Oracle Stone Productions has agreed to let the media have interviews outside of the conference room. So but we do ask you to please understand that most of the people are preparing themselves for a very special event. And so they may not have the time to answer some of your questions. And so please respect that. You know, it's just the fact that they understand the importance of this event here in Los Angeles. But if they're willing to give you an interview and work it out with you what time over the next couple of days, you can work it out with them on that, as long as they're free to do that. So I want to mention something first. This particular crystal skull set that's here at this table that Yoki brought from Holland has one of the most important and interesting crystal skulls. It's called E.T. Was found in Guatemala. I believe, oh, it's here. She has it here. I believe it was 1906, Yoki. Was it 1906? Yes, it was documented, I believe, 1906 near Antigua, Guatemala is where this skull was from. And this set is valued at was discovered. This whole collection, which you'll be able to hear more about over the weekend, is up for sale for $1.3 million. And so some of you.
I'm 80 years old of age, so I feel I'm too old to be a guardian. So there should be a new guardian for the crystal skulls, because they have to travel kind of the world with those skulls. And I have done that, and that was enough.
I'll hold you for one.
Yeah. She has been traveling around the world with, and building up this family of 10 crystal skulls after E.T. came as a first. And she learned at that time that he could heal her. He helped her heal from a severe brain tumor. And then she actually, with the help of this skull, E.T., she got all the other skulls coming
Yeah,
to
they were
her.
drawn to
They were
this
drawn
one.
to her, or she had
Not drawn to me,
no,
drawn to that one.
to this skull. He was pulling these skulls until she had these 10 skulls coming from all corners of the world, from all continents, and having all these specific capabilities and possibilities of healing in them to work together for the healing of the whole of mankind, actually of all and everything, and helping mankind also to remember, because that's what we need to do as a mankind, to remember and wake up from this nightmare and become a mankind in tune again. And these crystal skulls can help us with that. And she has done it for 20 years, building this up, and she needs to also give it over in the hands of a capable other caretaker, because it's important for all and everything. And of course she needs money too, and they're worth it too. We can talk about that as well. But it is an equal and honest exchange, if you know what their meaning is and what they are worth of doing and capable of.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because you'll hear a lot more about this weekend during her presentation. Now, if anybody has questions, I can give the mic over to, if there's anything specific you want to ask any of the other guardians or talk about, I guess at this time we can do that. So, anybody from the press want to ask anything in particular? Or have you already done that already before we got started? Some of you already have. Yes.
Which is the oldest one?
Well, who wants to answer that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Give the mic to
Yeah, here you go.
Answer that politically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always get the questions when nobody else wants to answer it.
That's your job.
It's one of the questions we can't answer. I can keep it that simple. I can make it more complex and saying there are many people through many different means and ways who try to really establish how old crystal skulls are. So it depends a little bit on who you want to listen to. You will get many different stories. If you want to hear my story, I think it doesn't matter at all. We will never figure it out. So the only thing we can do is really connect with what crystal skulls truly are and stand for. That is our journey, and that is how most people now begin to approach it, because we are in a time where we make changes. We move from, this is better than that, into more realizing that we have to move into working together. And the beautiful thing of this particular event is that you see caretakers of many different skulls who are not here anymore to say mine is the best, but they're here all to say we are working together and we are supporting the people who are coming in such a way that everyone can benefit from it. This was not possible without Oracle Stone Production, because he started to do that 3 years ago. And if you would know a little bit about the history of the crystal skulls, you would begin to understand how unique it is that all these different caretakers with all the different skulls are now together. And they are not saying mine is older. They are saying I have a very unique something to show to you. Come and experience it. And that is my invitation to everybody. Come and experience it.
Very good job. Any other questions?
Yogi, how did, just a couple of examples, either one of you, whoever's comfortable speaking, can you give us a couple examples of how these skulls came to you and where they came from? Just a couple of the...
That is of course not very easy, but E.T. was the first one, and I did not even know that there were crystal skulls. I didn't know that.
He's trying
And
to
then
get the
I
mic
were
for you.
traveling. I was traveling in South America, and there I stopped somewhere, and now I know it was a Mayan person who said, "We need you." I said, "No, I think you are wrong." "No, we are waiting for a woman, and that's you." I had not the faintest idea where he was talking about. So he said, "Please come with me." So I followed him, and then I was introduced to E.T., and I was amazed because I am a sculptor, but I never knew that were crystal skulls. So I said, "Why did you choose me?" He says, "I don't know, but you are the next owner." So
And he gave it to you?
I had to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you hold the skull up a little so we can see the shape of the back of the head?
Like,
And is this E.T. as in the shape
Like
of
this?
Yes, that's, yes.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Yes.
My
First baby.
Yeah, I love the damn thing.
No, also very important to tell about this girl, I already did, is that it was manifested, his healing capacities were manifesting very strongly when he helped her heal miraculously from this tumor in her head.
No, you are wrong.
No.
Yeah, I want to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I was operated, and they took off the huge tumor, and then they said to me, "Well, I'm talking about how many years ago? Many years ago." And then the neurologist said to me, 20 around, yeah. And the neurologist said to me, "Believe me, it's possible that you cannot talk so easy anymore, that you do not remember things, and that you get, I don't know what, in your body." I said, "No way, are you kidding? I am going to be fine." Well, I'm here, 80 years of age, 20 years later, let's be honest.
Yes.
So I personally think that the crystal skulls do have healing capacities, and it's maybe not the skull, but it's a stone. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Any other questions out?
We understand that the skulls represent humanity reconnecting with the sacred. Are there, and for all of you gatekeepers, are there any specific aspects or grids specific to the skulls that you're holding space with, that they are running energy with as well? Despite the greater whole that we understand that is we're reconnecting with and with the higher part of all of ourselves, but are there specific specific aspects within specific skulls that the energy is being activated through?
I'd like Sherry Whitfield with the Crystal Skull Synergy to be able to answer that.
Well, Dr. Van Etten here, he just wrote a book about it, so I don't really think I'm the one to answer you. But I
You
can
know,
say,
but
yes.
I wanted to ask you in the first place, so it's interesting that he gave you the mic, so please. Whatever you have to share, and then we can also listen to him.
Well, I'll say this, one thing that's consistently come out, I work with a lot of different Native people. I've known Humbats a few years, like him a lot too. He wears a mean sombrero at a mariachi party. Synergy is called the skull of joy and laughter. So we approach ceremony a little differently with creating a field of joy. Now, the grid systems of the earth are controversial. Do they exist? Well, does love exist? We can't really prove it. I don't know how many of you have been to the island of Madagascar. Maybe it doesn't really exist. In other words, we don't know that much about grids. Yacht calls one of the grids a crystal skull grid, and a crystalline grid. Synergy's been very clear that it does not want me to ever let it be used to send energy into the earth, to activate or change or do anything to work with grids directly as a human being, but to create a field of love and joy, to bring people together in cooperation. The name of the skull really isn't synergy. Synergy is the quality of the energy that it manifests. And it's been very clear, don't use me for your purposes, no matter how good your intents are. Bring me to these places, bring other people together if they wish to come, create this field of joy and love and cooperation, and stand back and allow me to do what I do. You humans broke these grids in ancient times. You don't know how to fix them. So the arrogance of humans is that we can somehow heal the earth. But it's the humans on the earth that need healing. Maybe the earth doesn't need healing in the way we understand it. That's Doctor?
Carolyn Ford.
Carolyn Ford, yes. I have another perspective that came to me recently with Einstein when we were meditating at a place called Montezuma's Well outside of Sedona, Arizona. I was there with Amani, who you will probably hear about later. She's a great musician. And we went into meditation and she was playing her hong, which is an ancient, well, it's a new and ancient type of music. And immediately Einstein took our hearts and opened them, and we were just emanating so much love. And then he just guided me through what he called the crystalline grid around the earth. So that isn't anything that I had in my mind or consciousness to contrive. It was an experience, and I had never, in fact, I called Yap right afterwards and said, what's going on with the grids? You know, because it was new information for me. And when we travel around the country and do meditations, I have been consistently guided with Einstein to open people's hearts in the meditation and then share that, like I just see like a pink cloud just moving throughout what's considered, what I'm instructed is the crystalline grid. And then we do share that love of ours with the earth. We send it right to the earth, not to heal, you know, like as Sherry said, I think her words were very wise, but to align and harmonize with the earth, become one with the earth so that we live here in grace and harmony. And in doing that, we are healing the earth and helping the earth and aligning. But it's from the inside first within us. So that's something that was new for me, and I'm sharing with you. Thanks for the question.
If we talk about crystal skulls, I think one of the most important things we need to keep in mind is they are all connected. They form, so to speak, a tremendous energy field. That energy field is something we are all exploring, and you can say that every crystal skull in and of themselves is giving access into that particular field. So the key point is the field. That's what we know without a shadow of a doubt that we don't know enough about. That is what we are exploring. That's the fascination that we all have, because the fascination is, what is all this information that is connected to crystal skulls? So there is this tremendous field. In addition, there are grids. Grids are lines on Earth. One of the most fascinating thing actually is that each one of you can create a point of a new grid that you can call a crystalline grid. There is a natural part that's existing, and there is a part that each and every one who's working with crystals, stones or crystal skulls, can create a vortex, a point that becomes a part of the grid. It is one of the, for me, having studied grids now for more than 20 years, one of the most fascinating things that the crystalline grid is something very dynamic. And that we, in this time frame, where so many people are beginning to connect even deeper with crystals, and specifically with crystal skulls, each one is literally contributing to this grid. If you really study the different grids, you may understand the importance of that, because crystalline energies are exactly the energies that can bring in new information into the Earth. Realize the Earth is crystalline in nature. Every planet in this universe is crystalline in nature. So we talk about, not about a small thing, we talk about something huge, and we are doing something here on Earth with the crystal skulls that is very, very important. And we may make big changes, specifically working with crystalline energies and crystalline grids and crystal skulls.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes?
In regards to the crystalline grid, has anyone made a connection between the crystalline grid of the Earth and the crystalline grid that each of us carry through the amygdala as well as through the myofascial? And that perhaps that is where we are activating the remembrance and the codes.
I totally agree with you. It is that remembering that will allow making deeper and deeper connection and bringing more of that information from the field into the grids, making it more accessible for everyone. And the problem is that not everyone has the ability to tap into the field. But the grids create something here on Earth where people walk through, where they sit in, so it is more accessible. So yes, I think it's through being more and developing more our abilities, call it this, let's say empowering ourselves, that we really connect more and more and more. Yes.
Eduardo, really quick.
Yeah, there's obviously lots of toxicity being put onto Mother Earth, and oils and different pollutions that could go further than what even I could imagine. But are we saying that through our personal healing we can also heal Mother Earth through these toxicities?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to be clear.
Simple answer, yes.
Okay, right here.
As we're coming into this new cycle, coming from the 2012 into the 13, we are looking at a solar cycle 24 that is also affecting the energies in and around our Earth, and in a maximum, coming into the solar maximum right in 212, 213. How are we seeing that the skulls themselves, the energies around the skulls, being able to help us through these periods of times with such energies coming from our sun? Could someone talk about our sun?
Yeah, I would like to let Humas, man, address that specifically. Humas, the sun, and what the sun, obviously, and
Let me tell you a little bit. The timeline in the Mayan cycle happens to begin the new cycle of 2012. It coincides at the same time with the solar cycle 24, which is the solar maximum. That solar maximum should be hitting 212, 213. Could you expound on the sequence and the significance of these events together at the same time that we're looking at these skulls being able to possibly heal or work through? Could you speak about the solar cycle 24 a little bit?
Just trying to to get over here to translate. I didn't hear the question, I'm sorry.
Could we speak about the solar cycle 24, 2012 to 13? We're talking about the solar maximum, something much larger than even the Carrington event of 1859, when they're talking about all of those solar winds coming and hitting our atmosphere, which are happening right now. Earth changes, we talk about earth changes, all the things that the planet is being affected with the planet. How can we it coincide also at the same time as many of the indigenous tribes and understandings that we're here at the transition?
¿Cómo va a afectar el sol y las climas, el viento y todos los cambios que está afectando el mundo en 2013, 2013?
Yeah, 2012, 2013, we're coming into the solar maximum. The biggest solar maximum they have on record since record keeping was started in 1755.
And is this, can you explain to us what a solar maximum is?
The Earth, the Sun, we have flares that are coming off, and they come across and hit our atmosphere. And it affects our magnetosphere, our ionosphere, and it affects all of Earth's energy. So we're talking about the huge amount of solar energy hitting our Earth. At the same time, we're talking about the Mayan calendar coming into a new cycle.
Toda esa energía que viene cuando el sol, cuando crece la energía del sol, cómo afecta a la tierra.
In honor to my ancestors, the Cystal, we knew long time ago what's going to happen. And today it looks like the Mother Earth begin to have big transformations. And many people, they're writing and saying negative things is going to happen. For me, for the Mayas, that's not good, because in our mind we produce, when we produce something negative, we can make that grow and contaminate more. But it looks like something very, very interesting. Today, many crystal skulls begin to appear. What's the reason? We're doing some huge work, not to explain now, but the lecture I'm going to indicate why we're doing so. It's very strong work in all this country. All the crystal schools, all of them, they're only one. Today, in this crazy civilization, in this crazy modern civilization, we're doing more bad things than good. But all the crystals, they have the memory of when everything is it was much better, like today, because they exist in the memory of all of them. All good things happen. So, but why begin to appear many crystal skulls? Because they connected all of them, and they try to help humanity to wake up the memory of that we have. Long time ago, it was so good for every human. And it was good for all the laws exist for this Mother Earth. What they're bringing to all the crystal skulls today is try to wake up all that memories have humanity. So many people or many books they write about bad things happened. And for me, no. Today in this time we're doing bad things. That's the reason. Begin to suffer the earth, and we begin to suffer too, humanity.
Long time ago,
Oh, long time ago, the mice we understood better this Mother Earth. Today we don't understand. But anyway, when something is wrong in the earth, we need to tell our Father Son to help us. And how can help us? Send them more energy. But the energy is not bad. It's we the human, we need to do the transformation of that energy. That's one of the reasons the Mayas, we kiss to the sun every day. Like this. Like this every day. We need to do, because that's is the Father Son can give us good energy or bad energy. Depends the frequency of the mind. When the Maya we say in that moment, Father Son to be more peace in all that body. And then the frequency of the energy change. That's one of the reasons. What's the name of the spirit of the humanity today? Almost nobody knows. But in Maya we know. Because for the Mayas, our spirit is a little piece of the sun. When we speak about our spirit, we say, Kinam. Kinam, it means I am a little piece of the sun. So everybody, for the Mayas, were a little piece of the sun. So we did venerate our Father in that way. In this huge house, everybody need to be happy. In this huge Mother Earth house, everybody need to be happy only when they begin to understand about their Father, our Father. So all that energy is not bad. It's we don't know how to digestion that energy. And the Mayas were coming back again. Maybe this kind of education it need to have all the humanity today.
And I'd like to add to that, because he will be Sunday going further into details in his lecture on Sunday that he'll be giving on Sunday. Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions? Anything else? Yes, sure. Here's Raymond Tarpey.
Yes, it's. I feel overwhelmed being in the presence of all these skulls and all these people assembled together and doing the same spirit work. My studies show me that the end of the Mayan calendar, or the next cycle, we're coming into the next cycle. And it was about 5,125 years ago that the great civilizations that we study in the schools began. They've all fallen, again and again and again. And the lessons have been accumulating. And finally, I think the modern person is realizing that this universe is very intelligent and talking to us all the time. Only we don't listen. We think we can do it ourselves. I heard the other day that ego means edge God out. And I think when we say God, we're talking about the intelligence. I don't think we can name it, we can just experience it. And we're realizing that we can talk to it, and if we listen, it will talk to us and send us signs. One of those signs are the crystal skulls. It's part of the revelation, that is the plan of revelation now underway to help us remember the lesson we've been studying for thousands and thousands of years, but we keep falling down on the job. We keep going off on ourselves, and that's the nature of free will. But the revelation, these crystal skulls, my studies show me, they're here to attract especially the minds of Eurasians. The people that came here to the Americas are attracted to the crystal skulls. They know that something is there. They're not quite sure what it is, but the Eurasian is attracted to object more than most other cultures. And so part of that revelation is the crystal skulls drawing them in so that we can begin to realize and experience the intelligence that the American Indians have been talking to us about for thousands and thousands of years, and they patiently wait for us to begin to listen to the old lesson, to come back again, and as one person said before, to remember, to be a member again. Thank you.
Apple. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, just deep, very deep.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Apple. Let's.
I have a more practical question. I'm wondering, the journey that you all took across the United States, you stopped at very high energy locations. What's the significance of Los Angeles? Why are you ending here?
I'm going to let Humbat's man answer that because he was involved in that whole journey, and with the rest of them in the back that went with it.
This kind of work, coming from New York to Los Angeles, is the place in the center of the United States because you need to fluid again that energy. This country, with all the power they have, they was born in New York. Why? Because the ancient Mayas, we know, the Trogloditas Mayas, they went there. When these people came from Europe, they received the Trogloditas Mayas to give something because they know there's going to happen something here through the years. It's a big power growth in this place. In this, all this country. It's from water to water. So the Trogloditas Mayas, they were there, and they received these people. What's the name of the place? According with the Mayan language, it is Manhattan. And today, according with the language they say, it's English. No, it's not English. It's some ancient words they use in the Trogloditas Mayas to indicate the place. Manhattan. Came here for many years until it looks like it went to the end. But now they came here. Why? Why this sacred place? Because the sacred place is what another people that was here. And the name of the people, the ancient people here, they were Chumak King, Chumak King, which is today only they use one A, Chumash, and that people still exist in this place. So Chumac king. Chu is the hot. Mac in Maya, almost similar to English, is people. Mac, almost like the English they use. But remember the English, they received some education long time ago, and they traveled to Europe. And the name they used long time ago is Hindu Europeans. And they bring a lot of knowledge in that time they took from India. The people they were the Naga Mayas. So the Mayas, every time when something big changes, the ages happen, need to go there. Today, maybe it's part of that work we're doing for this group of brothers and sisters. They came to do the pilgrimage from New York to here, because we need to understand it's a new time for the work. And today, we need to be so happy because the Crystal School, they're going to help us in all this work. Nobody can stop this work because the Crystal Schools, they're working in the same way because we are the same family and our memory is there. We ask something and they help us to remember. That's the reason happening this work. But maybe when I give the lecture, I can explain a little more about this. Chumac king, Trogloditas Mayas, belong to the time, belong to the ages.
I'll expand just a little bit because I'm going to let him save that for his lecture he's going to give on Sunday.
He did say, Kendall, that
Yes.
it's Chumac are the people that are from here.
Oh, okay, I get that. Thanks.
And correct me if I'm wrong a little bit on this. People have asked the same question all this journey. Why are they coming here? Why do they go to Los Angeles from Manhattan to Los Angeles? And I think the best way maybe that I've been able to explain it to people is that as the cycle of times have changed, the cycles, this ceremony, this journey with these particular souls has been made before. And the Maya believe these are the initiates that have woke up and remembered that. And they're here to do it again. For a very important reason. And throughout this weekend, hopefully we'll hear more for what that important reason is as we move forward. That the crystal skulls, the role that they play to humanity. Gabriel?
Yeah, we need to get Joki. She wants to go, but I still want to take you out if we can. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Yoki, for being here with this press conference with us. Thank you. All the way from Holland. Okay, somebody here had a question.
Yeah, what is the perspective? Is there an official perspective of the Smithsonian Institute on this phenomenon? And I know we have a scientist here from the Smithsonian. Could we hear from you?
Sure. You can actually move up here now because Yoki's not here.
I can come for just a
Oh, okay, great. Yes.
For the cameras, could you come
Yeah, we would love to see you.
I'm grateful to be here, but I think it's important to say that I'm here as a woman learning. I'm not here representing the Smithsonian Institution, although anyone who works at the Smithsonian Institution is proud to represent this marvelous museum complex anywhere they go, and in that respect, you always represent the Smithsonian. There's a woman in our department by the name of Jane Walsh that some of you may know. Jane Walsh is an old friend of mine. For the last 25 years, we worked down the hall from one another. It has been Jane's responsibility and her talent and interest to have people have asked her to look at crystal skulls, the one in the British Museum. The Mitchell Hedges skull came to the Smithsonian, and in fact I went to see it on my own in New York, once again as a woman, not as a scientist. But that skull traveled back to the hallway where I work, and I felt very protective of it while it was there. And Jane and I worked side by side. Very interesting. I think it's this time when science and spirit are merging. From Jane's point of view, she is very, very talented at taking peels off of crystal and jade. She also studies jade artifacts from China and Olmec artifacts from Mexico. She is able, through that process, to lift very delicate peels that you then put under a scanning electron microscope to see what the marks are on these tools to try to learn how they were fashioned. She has also spent a great deal of time and is very well informed about the history, the modern history of the creation of crystal skulls. She's beginning several hundred years ago in Europe, in Brazil, right up to the present day. Thank you very much. And in that process, she has written a great deal about both the history we understand of the modern fashioning of crystal skulls, and also how they've been created, what tool marks reside on these skulls. And I very much appreciate that, her expertise, her friendship, and the things that she has written on these skulls. That said, and this is something that Jane and I have discussed as well, I'm grateful for the questions asked by scientists and their attempt to answer those questions. I think that it's one way of knowing in the world and learning to recognize patterns and then to try to interpret those patterns. Unfortunately, in these modern times, scientists are given so much authority, so out of balance with the knowing and wisdom of things, as everyone in this room understands. And I certainly understand, because I have people come at me like rabid dogs the minute they hear I'm a scientist if they don't like science. And I like to remind everyone, this is a time of unity. This is a time, unity means what it means. That we all join hands and we all work together. Okay, I understand now, which I didn't at the beginning of my walk, why I was trained as a scientist, coming in as a young girl, as a spiritual being, drifted into science so tightly molding us, but giving me many gifts of learning, and then coming out of it now and realizing the reason for that, which I do. I'm surprised to be in this room. I got a note from Kendall, arrived from the airport, and now I'm here in front of you, which is very strange, because you guardians have been in front of me for a lot of the pilgrimage. So Spirit always has things in mind. I sat next to this beautiful woman with Einstein. Einstein passed a message that he knew me. I'd never met this being. Put your hands on me, and the whole time is download. So this is one scientist who's having a fabulous time on Earth, but wish that I had the playbook. You know, it's more step to step, which I appreciate. Okay, so to come back to the Smithsonian, you know, the Smithsonian is a place with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of individuals celebrating the Earth in the way that they understand it, from the smallest of bugs to crystal skulls to all the different things that they try to learn. Yet without Spirit to teach us, it's an enterprise that can only go so far. But I see that many, you know, are awakening. I met Hunbat's Men. It was a great privilege with another teacher of mine who is a Nuala Eskimo from Greenland. In 2007 is how we came to be together. It was not through an interest in crystal skulls. But when I returned, I was brought to sleep in the same room with the Mitchell Hedges skull. I went to see Hunbat's Men about a sacred site in Crestone, 3 miles from where you guys stayed, that I work on, that's a large serpent. Slept in the room with Hunbat's Men's skull, as it turned out, and then found myself next to Einstein. That's my walk. This memory held within the crystal skulls is something that I personally have experienced, of the gift of them trying to wake those up that can be more helpful in the world. So thank you for listening. I'm a woman trying to be more helpful in the world and to try to take the enormous amount of knowledge gifted to me and turn it into wisdom and give back.
I have one more question. We all know, we've been told that 2012 is the date, and it barely trickles down to the mainstream population, that concept of a time shift. And now we are told that 11/11 is the date. So, you know, could we elaborate on this?
Who would like to have
It is now a time, not for the debating of the times. A lot of people have different calculations, but essentially we know the era is here. And one of the most fabulous thing about the Mayan calendar is that it's taking place during the galactic alignment, which occurs once every 25,600 years. And so it is a special time. Time actually grows like bamboo, my studies lead to me. And it has creases. And we're in an intelligent place. And at those crease points, we get help. We're actually being taken care of. And we get help. But we are beings with free will. And so we do what we want. But creation is really like an invitation. Come back and remember. Come back and remember who you really are. You are not these material things. You are something beyond that. You can see further than that. And so the calendar is an instrument given to the first human beings in the Mayan lands in order to help us see that. Am I answering your question?
You made me think about something. I want to make an announcement on this. Humbas doesn't know this either. Well, actually, nobody does. I just found this out yesterday. I received an email yesterday. I received an email from someone in San Diego, and said there's someone very special that needs to come to your event, and he has flown in from Tibet. His name is he is actually known as a Dalai Lama. He is a Lama. Ku Kangu. He will be here maybe this evening. If you Google, I don't have his name in front of me. I Googled it right away. Who is this? My gosh, he is known here in the United States. He's known as a national treasure. Seriously, and he is explaining that he needs to be here. He's getting a calling to be here. You know, and I just thought that it's amazing. You know, if you when you Google him, he considers himself the 7th reincarnation of another great Dalai Lama from way in the past. We're going to try to get some more information on who that individual is, so we'll all kind of know who he is when he shows up this weekend. Humbats may know him. I don't know. I'm not sure.
The name in Mayan culture is very important. Dejeku can be for the Mayas ku. Remember something very important. The Mayan language, it has 49 sons. So the language is the Maya difficult. For example, some people know Spanish. It's difficult to learn Maya. If you learn only English, difficult to learn Mayan language. So we say ku because it's the language we use for that letter. But how we can say the Mayas is ku. Ku, it is the name of God. So to explain about God is like a lecture because it takes time. But ku in Maya is God. Ku. Sometimes we mention the mantra ku. Ooh. I begin to mention the name of God, and the vibration is good for all the manifestation of life. And the second is come. Kukam, yes, like I say, for the Mayas, come is the name of the snake. The name of the snake, come. And we begin to understand many ways come. That's the reason the Mayas, you can see in every pyramid, the symbol of the snake. And many places in the world, the symbol of snake, because I think long time ago people, they understood the symbol, many things about come. So it's good. Good, these people is coming. Very
Yes,
good.
oh,
Very
wonderful.
good.
Oh, where's it?
Yeah, one more question. The skulls, as I look at them, it almost appears as if they represent different races. Is it this way that they, that we have come here from different cosmic planes, and now they're kind of showing us? Could you elaborate on this?
Sherry, maybe.
Most people are familiar with Mayan skulls, maybe Tibetan skulls. Synergy is a Lemurian skull. Synergy comes from the South Pacific. You'll see there's some skulls that look like South Pacific people, or Native American, or any ethnicity. The whole point of being a skull and not a face is because there is no sex, there's no color. We don't know where they came from. And I've been saying from, well, the first layer of all the skulls are to help us to remember who we really are, and who we really are as spirit. We aren't any ethnicity, and we aren't any sex. And when it comes down to it, who knows where we're going? We're all evolving. There's something so mystical and even frightening about a skull to some people, because it reminds us of our own mortality. But the skull's not supposed to represent death, it's supposed to represent life. And so, yes, you're right. When you look at them, they remind you of different people. Each one of us looks different on the outside, but in spirit, we're all exactly the same. A lot of people ask me, well, is there a prophecy about what will happen if the crystal skulls get together? Of all the native people that I've known, no, there actually isn't one overriding prophecy. Maybe some of you have heard something. I've come to believe this. I'm joking in a way, but in a way I'm not. The amazing thing is that the caretakers, the human beings that have these skulls, are cooperating. Because the skulls are already connected. They already know how to cooperate. But we get caught up in our own petty stuff and our own ego things, or we get, into our own stuff and ignore each other, maybe not even on purpose. The amazing thing is that we've got a bunch of human beings willing to set aside our own stuff and cooperate with each other, because these skulls are already working together. Now, we're trying to follow that example. And maybe it's a ripple effect, maybe it'll go out. I think most of the skulls, if not all, are part of Yogi's collection.
These here, yes.
Yeah.
Except for Einstein.
I didn't know if Einstein was up
Einstein
there.
is still back here, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I couldn't keep them on my lap.
Yeah, exactly, they get heavy. And if you look at little Maya there, she's got another look too, totally different. So as you go around, if you go to the event, take a look at how the different skulls are made. Take a look at their faces. Some of them you'll resonate with and some of them you won't, just like people. Well, I hope that answered a little bit.
I want to just throw something in on the end of that. A very interesting story. We have Jane Dougherty right here with her crystal skull Maya. Dale Walker and his wife Laurie will be part of the conference this weekend. They couldn't make it here for the press conference. They're probably in transit right now. At the 999 event we did in Phoenix, Dale Walker and I went over and took a look at the crystal skull Maya that Jane Dougherty has. And while we were standing there looking at it, we were trying to observe it and see what makes, what is special about this skull. Well, one of the things we noticed right away is that with Maya has like 3 sets of teeth, which is really different than most of the skulls that you'll see. Well, Dale, any of you who know Dale Walker, he's quite the researcher. He's been doing this for a very long time. And so Dale says, let's study those teeth. Maybe there's a message there in the teeth. And so we began to study the teeth, and we realized that maybe there was a message there. Digging through lots of ancient texts, we found that there was a group of people in China that actually, we have 2 sets of teeth. They have 3 teeth. They lose 3 sets of teeth. Okay, and then we hear Raymond Tarpey a little bit talk about China. And we find out that it looks like maybe there's some trade that took place between China and Mexico, what is known as Mexico, Central America. And then Jane Dougherty is in Central America, and she gets her skull from that area. So, I guess the question is, are they different? Yes, I think the carvers who make them are trying to represent people in the area that they're trying to represent. Now, this weekend, I hope most of you can come to the event and see this and hear this lecture, because Jane's got quite a lecture. She shared a little bit with me. She says, my gosh, I hope I'm not going out on the limb too far. And those that know Jane, know Jane, that Jane has quite a bit of what we call ultra-terrestrial, extraterrestrial, or the cosmic star nation that she talks about quite a bit. And for some of the Crystal Skull people, some of them believe, yeah, there could be something there, and some of them aren't too sure in that connection. Jane's got quite a lecture that she's going to present this weekend that actually talks about, and she's actually got some physical proof that was taken after the event in New York City, because she's actually got a photo that was taken right after that of a UFO inside of Maya, and an actual being's face that she took a photo of inside the skull. And now we're finding out that, well, I'm going to let Jane just share just a little bit. You sure, Jane? Just a little about Sirius B and all that?
Making do something I wasn't going to do. Okay. What happened is I'm looking at the reason as to why you also see the skulls, the noses are different on different skulls. And the triangle nose is on a few of them, and that you don't only see them on a few of them. So I did some research in trying to find out why and what that may mean, and I did find out that in antiquity, most of antiquity, a triangle meant deity. Then as I began to look at the teeth and do more research other than what Kendall had said, I discovered that Hercules, the mythical character Hercules, had 3 rows of teeth. And so in ancient days, if you had 3 rows of teeth, you were considered a superhero. And then it went further, that the amphibious gods from Sirius B, had 3 rows of teeth. So it's quite possible that the 3 rows of teeth may represent those beings at that time. And then there's more of it that I'll say during the lecture. So it's a fascinating journey for me right now, because I'm discovering things and making connections to things I've known when I first got her and other things that have happened to me. I think it's also probably, I should say that I am a psychic. When it really happened after I got Maya. I had opened the ability, but I had no intention of doing that. And so I think there's a connection, and then I've had UFO experiences as a result, 6 months after getting Maya. So something is going on out there. And of course with Sirius B, the thing that I should be saying too is that the god that I have, his name is Solvar. And the 2 nights before I went to the solar initiation ceremony in Mexico in 1995, I discovered where Solvar was from. And what was told to me in a trance, I was in a trance, that it was from Sirius B. So the dots are all connecting at this point.
Did the Chinese people, are those that you were saying had the 3 rows of teeth, are they part of the same superhero story that you're talking about?
The 3 rows of teeth is news to me. I didn't know about them. My researchers are, the reason I'm studying the Maya is because I'm a student of Chinese, ancient Chinese and ancient Japanese history. I started to study the Maya and I saw China. I saw so many Chinese things that was unbelievable. And so I couldn't answer the question of why this similarity. Incredible things like only 2 cultures in the world esteem jade above gold, and that's China and the Maya. Very few cultures, the only 2 that I know, consider blue and green the same color, because color is a cultural decision. The goddess of the moon with a rabbit, it was too much after a while, and I could not explain it. And so I went to the readings of Edgar Cayce. And when Edgar Cayce talked to me about ancient civilizations that we haven't even no knowledge of, because all we can do now is explore the surface of the earth with our technology. 75% of the earth is under the water, unexplored. So hold on to your hats, it's going to change.
Okay. Do we have? Okay.
Please put attention only what I am saying in Maya. No explanation. Our Mayan language exists 7 levels to understand. One is this. Chin chan chong. Chin chan chong.
Do we have any other questions then from the media? All right. Otherwise, I guess I want to say thank you for everyone coming out for this today. Appreciate it very much, and I hope you enjoy the event this weekend.
Thank you.